Hey guys, welcome to Recraft Relic channel and I hope you are all doing well. So today, as you know, we are going to basically build a React Native application which will help us take notes. Here is a preview of the application. You can see we have some notes added here. We can switch between a list view and a full view. So for example, if I click, now it is a list view, and now if I click, it's a full view. I can also edit the notes. I can click on it and I can just type something and click save, and you can see the note getting edited. And I can go here and add a new note. I can just say, hey, how are you, right? And I can just keep going on like this, and I can just hit save, and you can see that item here. I can switch to list view again to just show you the item. So this is the preview basically, and now let's dive into the application. I already have the sample application saved in here, so let's just get started with that. I already have my server up and running, and yeah, so let's reload our application, and it's getting reloaded now. So we will start by creating the notes UI, and then we will going to add other elements to the mix. So let's get started by firstly by creating the view of the notes. So here I'm going to start by creating a view. Okay, and yeah, so I'm going to create a style for this. So this will be the main view which will be holding all our notes. So I'm going to start by giving it a notes container identifier, and just say we'll start by giving it a padding of 10 pixels, then padding right of 20 pixels. Let's start with that, and let's see how that will work. Okay, so this is the view, and in this view, there will be a style, right? So which style we are going to use the notes container, right? And inside there will be notes. So notes will be something like this. So we'll have a view. Inside that we'll have a text, and inside text there will be some random text, right? So I'm just going to say, just type random text here, and I'm going to import view and text as well. So let's see how our application. Okay, so you can see the random text here, and you can also see the padding that we have applied to this view, right? So now let's try to create our notes UI. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give this a style called styles dot note, right? Just let's say let's just do note, and we go here inside note. So what I want to do is I want to give it a border, so I can basically distinguish between different nodes. So its border width will be 1, right? And its border color will be hash ddd. Let's see that. So you can see the border, right? But this is not looking good because the border is very close to the text. So I'm going to provide a padding of 10 pixel. So 10 pixel, you can see now it has a proper white space. And then I'm going to just give it a margin bottom. So the reason I'm giving it a margin bottom is because if I have multiple items, which I will in a second, for example like this, Okay, so margin bottom, I gave it inside the note container. It should be here. So now you can see the basically the margin between these nodes. So now this is our node. So let's also give it some border radius to make it look good. So border radius 5, right? So now you can see there are nice border radius around it. So now let's do one thing. So let's take nodes in our state. So nodes, set nodes, and nodes so use state, and in the start this will be an empty array. Okay, and in this empty array I'm just going to put some random one sec. So some random text, for example random text, or this is a note, right? And then I'm going to map over it here. What I'm doing, notes dot map notes, not notes, note index, and then we'll have this view. And in this view we'll have a key, right, index, and whatever node we get we will render it inside the text. Simple. And I'm just going to remove these, right? So now let's go to our and yeah, so you can see we are basically looping over the list, right? So the first thing that I want to create is I want to create the list and full view. So in full view basically all of the text will be shown, but in the list view only like 2 or 3 lines of the note will be shown. So for example, if we have a note which is multi-line, for example, which has like a lot of text, for example something like one sec. Something like this, right? So it will go it will go like this. So in full view it will be seen like this, but in a list view it will get trimmed down to here. So we already have the full view. Now let's create the list view. So I'm just going to call it note full view, not like this. Yeah, let's do it like this. So note no, right, let's just keep it like this, and we go here, we just say note list view, and inside that we are going to give it a height of 80. Okay, and once we do that, if we go here and say styles dot note list view, so you can see the text is getting trimmed, but this is not looking good, right? So when the list view is on, one other thing that we have to do is we can actually pass number of lines to nodes, and in this if I type 3, then you can see React Native automatically put ellipses where that when the text doesn't fit inside 3 lines. All right, so and now we also have to control all of this by using a button here. So let's do that. So let's create a button first. So we'll create the button basically before scroll inside scroll view, so outside this node container. So now I'm going to do view, right? I'm going to give it style. So style, I will name it styles dot view chooser container. I don't think chooser is a word. I'll just say view choice container. Okay, so view choice container, I'm just going to put it down here, and inside that there will be a button. Okay, so this button not like this button, right? And okay, so it's a singular tag. Inside button there will be a title. So what we're going to do is there will be two views, list view and full view. So we are going to say if list view is true, then say that you can toggle between full view, else just say list view. So if it's already list view, then we show the option to switch the list to full view, and if it's not list view, then show the option to switch to list view, right? And on press we are going to toggle between the true false state of list view. For example, I'm just going to say set list view to not list view. So it's always going to toggle between the true and false. So for the first time, if the list view is false, if you press on this button, then it will become true because there is a not. So not and false becomes true, and if it's true, then not and true become false, for the next press. I'm going to define the state here, const list view, right? Just a sec. List view and yeah, so set list view, okay, and yeah, so equal to use state, and it will be false from the start. So by default it will be false, and so we have a button here, and I think it should work. Let's see. Let's go to okay, so I have to import button. Okay, so you can see the button here, right? And you can see it's toggling between list view and full view. So in this case, what we have to do is I want it to be like here. So what I'm going to do is view choice container, right? I'm going to give it a padding top 10, so it should be padded from the top. Then I'm going to say padding from the right, or what I'm going to do first is align the items to a flex end. If I do that, then the button should go here, and now I can give a padding right. So I can just say padding right and say 20. Okay, so you can see the list view here, and now it looks good, right? So that's good now, but still, yeah, clicking on it doesn't change our change our view, type of view. So what we are going to do is here we only going, okay, so let's go here and say const view note style. Instead of const, I'm just going to do let because I want to modify it on condition change. So note style, by default it will be styles dot note, but if list view is true, then note style dot concate styles dot note list view, right? I think this is simple. So for example, if I go fill view, okay, I have to change it here as well, right? So now I'm going to use note style variable. So now if I go, so one other thing is this number of lines, so I'm going to remove this for now. So you can see full view. If I I'm concating, but I'm not saving it inside again, so Now if I click on full view, it shows me the full view. If I click on list view, it shows me the list view, but still, you know, this is not looking good. So what we are going to do is we're going to have a variable called text props, and inside that what we are going to do is if list view is true, then number of lines will be 3, else it will be empty. And then we're going to spread this props, you know, inside the text. So now if I go to full view, it shows me the full view. If I go to list view, then it show me the ellipses, and you know, this looks good, right? So this is good, right? And the view is working. So now let's go ahead and add add view, where you can actually add the note. So let's get started with that. Now if I so how we're going to do that? So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to place an add button here. On upon clicking on it, we will open a model where you can basically type your text, right? So what I'm going to do is firstly I'm going to add that button. So let's start by adding that button. Here I'm going to create another view, and inside that I'm going to create a button. Button will say add note, and let's see how that works out. So you can see the add note here, but I don't want it here, I want it here. So for in that case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to style it a bit differently. So it will be styles dot add note container. So here I'm going to go add note container, and inside that what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it a bottom 20, so it, you know, goes down, and from right also 20, so it, you know, have a proper margin from the right. And then I'm just going to say position absolute, so it respect all my bottom right values that I'm giving in. Okay, so it is sticking here. The reason it is sticking here because the, you know, the view, it is in only, you know, this big. So what I'm going to do is so what I'm going to do is I'm going to, you know, extract the width and height from the dimensions. So let's do that. Const dimensions, I guess, I'm not sure. Use window dimensions, right? And let's console them. Let's see if we have the right value. We'll go here. So you can see the height and the width here. So I'm going to just console the height. Let's see, 692, and I'm going to take this height and increase the height of view choice container. So this thing, and then height dimensions dot height. So yeah, so you can go ahead and see, right? So you can see the container here, but I'm wondering why I don't have the text here. Well, what's up? Just reloading. Okay. All right, this is strange. Height 1000 maybe. Okay, all right, so height, I'm giving it height. Am I missing something here? It's notes container, right? Okay, so I am doing it all wrong. I'm giving it to the view choice container. It should be here. Yeah, so what's basically happening, if I'm giving a full height to the view choice container, then this thing is, basically covering the whole text reason. Instead of this, I'm just going to do dimension dot height, right? And this will look good. So now you can see I have the add button here, I have the list view button here. So now upon clicking this, I want to open a model. So let's do that. So I'm going to place the model here, right? And its visibility will be controlled by a variable called is add, or I can say is note modal open, right? And inside this model basically we'll have you know uh, a view inside which will have a text input, right? We'll have a text input, and then we'll have basically two buttons for saving and canceling it. But yeah, let's not worry about it for now. Just say text here, and we'll just going to render some text. Say hello, I am a model. Okay, and yeah, and on press of this button, what we want to do is we want to open the model. So we're just going to say set note modal open to true, and we're just going to here, and we're going to create a new state, set note modal open. By default it will be false because we don't want the modal to show on the first load. So it's refreshing. Can't find variable modal, I have to import it, right? So I imported the model, and let's see now if it works or not. Hello, I am a model, but it's false, right? It's showing up is modal open. Just reload the application again. Okay, set node modal. Okay, so visible spelling was wrong, so that is why it is by default taking visible to true. It is taking time to reload the application. Where is the application? Now visible is not modal open, set node modal open. We just say is modal is not modal open. Use state by default false. On press do this. Okay, so I don't know why this happened. So modal should be false. If it's false, I think I have to restart the app. One sec. It's the application. It's we don't want it to connect to the debugger. One sec. Stop debugging. Huh, what's happening? Oh, this is the notes app. That was a total different application. Okay, let's see. See the loading now. Yeah. So now if I click on add note, okay, sorry. So is note modal open, right? And if I go here and say uh, on press of this button, right, on press of this button, open the model, set note modal open to true, and let's add some buttons as well, so it will be easier for us to close the model. So I'm just going to create a button here which just says cancel, so I can close the model. So title equal to close, right? And on press we are just going to set the note modal open to false. All right, so let it refresh. It's refreshing. Now let's click on add note. Once we click on add note, it opens the model and I can click on the close to close the model. So once I click on the add note, it shows me the model. I can click on close to close the model, right? So instead of close, I'm just going to say cancel, right? And then I will have another button which I will call save, right? And in save, the color of the button of the cancel will be red, right? So refreshing, add note, you can see the cancel save button, but they are not looking good, right? So let's do one thing. Let's provide them with let's provide this view with the style. So styles dot action button container, right? And just go here. What I'm going to do about them is I'm just going to I'm just going to give them a flexed what I want to do is basically these two buttons. I want to render them side by side. So what I'm going to do is flex direction row, right? And just say justify content, right? Space evenly. Okay, and then these two buttons should be inside a view, because button in itself doesn't take style. So inside a view, what I'm going to do is style, and I'm just going to say flex 1, right? And now I'm going to take this style and just say action button. I'm going to put it down here, action button, and then just go here, do this. Okay, I need the new view here as well, so I'll just copy paste this, button color red will go something like this, and yeah, I mean this will work, I guess. So you can see them side by side, but they are not looking good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to provide them a padding of 10, and now they will look good, right? Save, cancel and stuff. uh okay, the other thing that I want to do is in this view I want to render text called add a note, so it will be a heading, right? And it will be add a note, and so the style will be something like, the font size will be bigger, so it will be 30, and it will be bold. Weight will oh, weight will be bold, right, like this. And I'm going to take this style outside. I'm just going to name it modal heading. I'm just going to go here, modal heading, and I'm going to paste my style here. So now what I want to do is I want to, put it in the center. So what I'm going to do here is style, and I'm just going to say align items to center. So for some reason it's loading, I guess. The error is located at can't find variable style. Okay, so where you are not able to find it, styles. Okay, so this will be styles. It's refreshing, you can see I can click on the add button and you can see it in the center. So now what I'm going to do is is just add some padding here. So so right now the heading is not looking good, so I'm just going to give it to padding, so it's spaced evenly. And I'm just going to put this outside as well, styles dot modal heading container, and I just go here, say modal heading container, and just put it here. Now we need the text input, so I'm just going to create a text input here. Text input on change text, set text, and value will be text, and this will be multi-line, so let's make it multi-line, right? So this is multi-line, and I think it's multi-line, right? So now I'm going to create the state for the text, const text set text equal to use state, and by default the value is empty. So let's go here and see if it, okay, and I think I also have to import the text input. Yeah, it gave me error about it, so I'm just going to click on add note, and yeah, you can see my my text input, right? So what now we want is when we click on save, for example, if I click, it's still typing. Yeah, it should be added here whenever I click on save. So now let's do one thing. So we already have notes, let's empty them, and what we are going to do is on save note. So here we're going to say const, not here, let's move it up here, const on save note, right? So let's use callback because we want to like the function to be updated with our dependencies, right? And on save note, if there is no text inside the state, just return, because the user haven't typed anything and just clicked on save, so we don't want to do anything there. And if not, then just go set notes, take the new note, take the older note, concate the text inside it, and just update the notes. So whatever text we are getting from the user, we're just going to add it inside the notes. So now let's just put these things in the dependency array, so it should get updated. Now let's go to, just pick this up, and on save, and yeah, we also have to set the note modal to false. So on save note here, set note modal open to false, right? So let's go to, is there an error that, yeah, there is. So use callback is not imported. So sometimes Visual Studio Code auto import doesn't work, and that's a bummer. So now we don't have any notes. I click on add note, I go here and I type hi, right, and just keep clicking on these. Right, and just click on save. So on save nothing is happening, there is no error as well. Okay, why it is not working, let me check. So on press on save button, on save note, just call the on save note function, and if, okay, so it should be if not text then return. I just said if there is text. I don't know if this will work now. Yeah, so you can see, right, that note is basically getting added. I can go again, add note, but yeah, you can see it is the text is still there. The reason being that we haven't cleared it out. So what I'm going to do is just set text to empty, or better than that, what I can do is when we open the model, then clear the text from the add note. So here I'm just going to set the set text to, and then open the model. So I'm just going to cancel this, add note. Yeah, you can see right now it's empty. So I can just go again and just type something. Let's say take care of yourself and whatever. Just keep clicking on these. Right, so now we have some text. Now I can just click on save. It will add the note. If I click on the add note again, it's empty. So that's good, right? So that is working. Now next thing what we want to do is we want to basically click on any of the item, and when we click on that item, we should be able to edit that item, right? So what we're going to do is, for that, firstly and foremost, we're going to make the notes clickable. So let's just start by doing that. So these view, that should be a touchable opacity. So touchable opacity, just go here, paste this up, and now this will be the key. So now if I go here, I should be able to, you can see the feedback I'm getting. And now on their on press, I want to on edit, right? So I just say on not on note press, and I'm just going to pass the index so I know which item it is. So we are going to repurpose this add model for this. So how we're going to do is something like this. So I'm going to create a function called on note press, not node press, node press, and this thing takes an index. And now what I'm going to do is, so I'm going to let the modal know that there is already a selected item, so it doesn't have to render an empty um, text box. So set selected index equal so I'm going to set the selected index. Then what I'm going to do is set text to notes index. So I'm going to go inside the node, get the content of that index, that item, and going to set the as the text, right? And then I'm going to open the model, set note modal open to true, right? So on note press, these things will happen. And then here I'm going to say const selected index to like set selected index, and just say use state to null. So by default it will be null, right? So let's go here and see if this works. On it not press, right? Okay, let's see. I think it will work. So I'm just going to go click on add note, go here, add a note. So yesterday, and just keep clicking on these. Right, so now I click on save. If I click on or add note, I could add another note. But if I click on this, so you can see, right? So now if I click on this, then I have, the text is already pre-filled, so I can edit it. But there is one catch. So if I click on the save now, it's going to add the new item, because save doesn't know if it's a new item or it's an old item. So what we're going to do is we're going to make the onSave note function a bit complex, so it can recognize if it's a old item or a new item. So I'm just going to say if selected index is selected, so if it's not null, or I can just say not equal to null, because selected index can be 0, and in that case it will not work. In that case we are going to update the nodes, else we are going to concate the nodes. So what I'm going to do is I will copy all the nodes equal to triple dot nodes, right? So if it's not null, then copy nodes index equals to the new text. So copy nodes is basically a copy of the nodes, and if not the index, I'm just going to use like, so if it is selected, that's when you're that means you're editing an item. And if you're editing an item, what we're going to do is we're going to get that selected item and just not get the selected item, but we're going to go inside the nodes. Using that index, we're going to just modify the value at that index, so it basically result in editing the item. And if it's not selected, then we are just going to do copy nodes equal to copy nodes dot concate the text. And at last I'm just going to set the nodes as copy nodes. All right, so basically what will happen, if there is no text, it just return. But if there are then it's going to make a copy of the nodes. If there is a selected index, if that means if it's not null, just take the text value and replace the other older value at the selected index. And if it's a new, if no item is selected, if you're not editing, you're adding, then just concate and update the nodes. One thing that I'm going to do is that I'm also going to reset the index, because that's what we want, right? So it should be null, because if we don't, then it's always going to, keep editing the same item. So I think that is pretty much it, right? So let's see. I click on this item and I just say you, hello, whatever, right? And okay, so what's happening? Alright, so I'm just going to click on save, and you can see, it's editing the item, not adding a new item now. And if I go here, I just say ryu and just keep clicking on these. So you can see, okay, so now there is, okay, so it's read only, okay, because it's a const, so we can modify it. So now this reload, right? Yeah. So now I'm just going to save, and you can see the new item is added. If I go here and just type something, oh, okay, super slow, but yeah. So I click on save, you can see I can toggle between the list and full view. You can see the text is not that much big, and that's why you're not able to see, but yeah, if I just go to Google and copy some text, lorem ipsum, so I'm just going to copy a dummy text, just to give you an idea. So, and here if I go click on add note and just paste it, and click save. So now I can basically toggle between the full view and the list view, right? So yeah, guys, I mean, that's pretty much it. That's building our note application. You can switch between list view and full view. You can edit an item, or you can add a note. So yeah, I mean, there are a couple of issues in this. The first thing is that you can't delete the item, but I will leave that up to you. That can be an exercise, right? The other thing is, when you click on add note, it says add a note, but if you click on editing, if you are even editing a note, you still see add a note, so that can also be fixed. So that is also a fun exercise for you guys. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it, guys. So yeah, so let's meet next Saturday. Until then, have fun.